Everything you think you know about trading, the strategy, the rules, the advice, most of it is actually wrong. And the problem is it's fundamentally wrong. In concept, it might be right, but fundamentally, it is costing people like me and you thousands of dollars when we first start trading. In today's video, I'm going to break down the exact lies that the trading industry tells you and show you what the truth looks like trading for 6 years and doing 3 of it live every single day on YouTube, showing my entries and exits. So that being said, let's get in this video. The first biggest lie that we're told is that you need a complex strategy. Where the truth is, the trading industry sells complexity because complexity sells courses. The more indicators, the more confluences, the more things you have to research into. Although it looks professional and feels like it's something that's making you one step closer towards your goal, but in reality, the complexity is the enemy of consistency and it actually holds you back in your journey. When I first started trading, I would only search for the most complex strategies available because I said people who cannot comprehend this are probably missing the edge to people who are using basics. Now, don't get me wrong. Drawing a couple of boxes on the chart, a couple of pizzas or whatever it may be is probably not the key to make you profitable. But trying to overcomplicate something and trying to dissect something from a person on YouTube who's claiming that they know exactly how the banks are trading right now is honestly not true. We are limited to what we can use. Getting access to stuff that is on an institutional level is not reality for retail. That is exactly how I looked when I was not making money in the game. I was just overcomplicating, trying to find ways to get more data because I thought more confluences, more information would make me profitable, when in reality, it was more variables for something to go wrong in my trading. And that's exactly the image I had of myself. I was very knowledgeable. You'd speak to me, I'd sound like I know what I'm doing, but nothing was happening on my account. So that made me realize that complexity gave me the illusion of control, but simplicity gave me the results. And that is when I started to trade simply and follow what price action says on the chart and patterns that repeat every single day. The second lie that I was told is more screen time equals more profit. And I think when we start trading, we spend a lot of time on the screen. It is good to do that. But once you start to understand concepts and have a strategy that you follow, more time on the screen will not equal more profit. You've probably heard this before. The difference is who you've heard this from has not been living proof. I'm someone who showed up consistently every single day to just 2 sessions, and I've done that live and been able to show a profitable track record of just doing that. If I spent all day at the charts, I would have given that money back. So it is very important to show me that the whole reason we start this game is to give ourselves a bit of freedom. And part of freedom is something called time freedom. I don't want to have freedom of financial freedom, but be locked in front of a screen for 12 hours a day, forcing myself under high pressure scenarios of taking trades and forcing myself to take trades because I have to pay rent at the end of the month and I'm super stressed for 12 hours. That is not my idea of freedom. My idea of freedom is having the ability to show up at the charts at certain times and be able to make a profit and leave and get on with my day and do things that I actually want to do and have fun. The third lie, and this is a very important one, including the last lie that I'm going to talk about, but this is that losses means your strategy is not working. This is completely false. This lie destroys more traders than any bad strategy could. And let me tell you why. The moment you fall into a losing streak, you abandon your approach, everything seems like it's not working and you look for the new strategy. The minute you restart that process again, you are starting back from zero. Although you may feel like you have knowledge, you have lost consistency. And this game requires consistency, not only knowledge. So although you have felt, hey, I learned a little bit more about the market, now you change your consistency because you are driving into a new pattern, you are driving into a new data set, you are driving into new probabilities that you have not explored. So you have to play catch up. And by the time you played catch up, you have not figured out what made you lose in the beginning. And most of us, including myself, we have started to blame the strategy when in reality we are the one who controls, and the bridge between us and profitability is actually us. So finding out exactly what caused the losing streak isn't necessarily meaning your strategy is failing. It may be an understanding issue or a personal issue, and this is something that you have to kind of overcome. Just because you're losing doesn't mean something is failed. You just need more of an understanding of why. In my own experience, I went through some of the harshest losing streaks where I just lost for 2 years straight. I've also publicly shown me have negative months on a live stream. Although in those months I managed risk and only lost around 2%, those were still negative months, and that happens to any professional trader. Followed up by that negative month, I had a 15% month in just one session. So that is kind of showing you the dynamic between preserving capital and understanding to stick with a system, because that system is going to make you money in the long run. If I was in the mindset that, hey, I just traded a whole month and made nothing, I would have dumped that strategy, never made the 15% next month, lost my confidence and be back at square one, being in this cycle of 6 to 8 months of doing nothing and being stuck trying to figure out this game. The fourth lie that I want to speak about is that you need to immediately buy a funded account. Funding accounts blew up in our industry. Everyone seems to jump on the trend and they think they're always ready for a funded account. Seem to forget that most people do not have the skill yet to trade on funded accounts. Funded accounts require you to be a better trader because you have rules that are on top of your own rules. So you have a double rule set. If you're a trader who struggles to follow your own rule set, it's going to be very difficult to follow someone else's rule set that is not set by you. So first get your standards correct. I was the same. I jumped in full live account, $25,000 first deposit. And guess what? Didn't really go very well. So I learned from my own mistakes and I realized that we have to fill that skill gap. Don't get me wrong. Budget yourself. Buy an account to practice on. But don't force yourself blowing accounts back to back, just trying to pass one, just to end up never getting a payout. This is a common cycle that I see, especially with people that I have seen progress in my own community from being someone who's never got funded to getting a payout. They have to change that mindset of, hey, I need to buy an account to pass, then I get a payout. Passing an account doesn't get you a payout. Trading consistently will. So that's the biggest difference and something you need to consider. The last lie that I wanted to say for the end is that winning traders and the best traders in the world never lose. Now, this is a lie. I can speak from experience because I'm one of the more transparent traders out there who actually show my process live. But for others, social media, what we see online, it's not a reality. We tend to see highlights of traders always winning, no context of their background, no context of where they've struggled, no context of where things haven't worked for them. We just see their wins. Those wins can be fake. Those wins can be not real. Those wins can be Photoshop. You name it. That anything is possible. People will show you things that are absurd. $1 million profit in one day. That is probably not real. But we relate ourselves to that. So the idea that winning traders never have losing day is absolutely wrong. The best traders will have the harshest periods, but how they hold themselves during those harshest periods is what makes them profitable long term. And if you expect that makes them a bad trader, then you're already in the wrong mindset, because I was in a spot where I was always losing, and seeing everyone else win made me feel like I was the opposite. But if you look at the stats, 90% of people in this game lose or quit. So that means most people are actually losing. And the percentage that you're seeing is either fake or the top of the crop. So you have a choice. You either want to make it up there, or you complain and feel like anyone who you're watching who's showing you losses is not real. So that is the biggest lie that you're told. And the crazy thing out of all of this is you don't have to believe me. I've had traders who are doubtful, who have come into my community, and I've seen them progress from not even being able to pass a funded account to get funded and get payouts worth of 5 figures and work on up from that. It is living proof. I have proof. You can see, if you click the link below, you can see all of the achievements that they've been able to achieve, and something I'm extremely proud of. So this is just proof in the pudding, showing you that, hey, it is possible. People normal like me, people normal who've watched videos and been able to do it themselves, have been able to prove that if they can navigate through these lies that we're told, there is actually some rainbow on the other side, and we can enjoy the benefits of this game and actually be the top percentile that make it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave a subscribe for more value. Much love. Take care. Tradesharpe. Hopefully speak to you guys soon. Peace.